So my usual Canon 5D was not available as I lent it out to my friend and he needed it for a studio shoot for 2 days. So I basically thought to myself that, oh, I won't be able to do any street photography. Then I looked across to my shelf and I saw that I had this Olympus OmD-10 Mark III sitting there, and I haven't used it for ages. I looked for the batteries, I looked for the charger, I got it all set up and ready to go, and here it is. I thought I'd take it out for a spin. Really interested to see what kind of pictures I could produce with this thing. I've been looking to upgrade my camera because my Canon is just too big and a bit old, and this camera is so small compared to it. Let's go, let's see what we captured. So here we are, we're just on the entrance to Barbican, the famous staircase that I always like to go up into the Barbican. And it's a beautiful sunny day. It's quite cloudy, so the sun is dipping behind the clouds quite a lot, but when it's out, it looks great. So on my way up, I noticed this opening in the staircase, and I noticed this ray of sunshine across the road. Love the lines on the building, the yellow color. You can't see it just yet, but there's a chap in the window and he's having his lunch. I'm using the wall on the left as negative space, and I'm using a half of the frame for the bright sunshine. Getting my frame as usual. First, I always get my frame, take a couple of shots, get my settings, and I'm always looking at my histogram to see that I'm not clipping off the highlights. Always exposing for the highlights. And now I'm just waiting for somebody to come across. I get 3 people. This is the first guy. He's just walking across. I grab him in his stride. And it's a great start already. Fantastic start to my photography walk. I got him in landscape and I also got him in portrait mode. And I do think that I prefer the portrait slightly more. This lady, she works really well. She's wearing light colors against the darker background, but she just captured her a bit too close. Really, I want somebody coming from the left and walking towards the right so I can see their face and I can see their emotion. This guy as well, again, his clothes are too dark, he's walking in the wrong direction. It still works well, but I want more balance to the frame, so I'm not happy and I'm gonna hang around for a little bit longer. And there you go, that's the guy that I was waiting for. He's got a light coloured jacket on, caught him perfectly in his stride. He's got a good balance between him and the guy sitting in the window, and I really like that frame. As usual, I'm always checking my pictures. I know these ones came out sharp because I took my time, but I'm always checking my pictures before I move on. I didn't mention the lens that I've got on. So today I've got a 20mm lens and is equivalent to a 40mm on a full frame. And my usual lens is a 50mm, but I am looking for something wider, so this 40mm just gave me a little bit more width. So here we are at one of my favourite spots in the Barbican. On a sunny day you get this beautiful path of light in between the 2 buildings. I've set myself up in the perfect position, got my settings, I got my frame, and I'm just waiting for the right person to come across. And I can see this guy coming from the right hand side of the frame. You can see him just entering the ray of light now. And yeah, I had to wait around here for a good 15-20 minutes because it was raining and all sorts, but it was really worth it. I think the pictures on this small little APS-C camera is really coping well with the dynamic range between the light and the shadow. And just making my way down through Barbican, seeing what I could find. I spot this lady here just leaning over the wall, and the light, the shadow looks really well. She has a little look at me and then she goes back to her reading, and I just capture her very quickly, and I think that comes out really well as well. I like how the 2 lines of the shadow are both leading towards the subject. So now I'm just down on the main area of the Barbican, and as you can see, the sun has gone behind the clouds. It's very cloudy now and we've got flat light. But I do see this beautiful window and it has an amazing reflection of the clouds. I think that it would work really well if I just captured somebody walking up or down the stairs, and I didn't have to wait too long till I captured this photo. I think it came out really good. Tried to capture something else here, but people are walking on the left side or the right side, and it just didn't work too well. And yes, it poured down with rain, so I had to duck into Barbican, pulled out my book, had a bit of a read, had a little drink. I think I had a coffee. Was it hot chocolate? I can't remember. And then all of a sudden the sun came out, so I thought I'd go outside and take some more photos. The Barbican is such a beautiful place. So many photographers hanging around, and yeah, you could just stay inside and take pictures. It's amazing. The architecture is fantastic. And yeah, just looking back on this video, I mean, I should have taken a picture here, this guy in the light. I could have hung around here and exposed for these doors and this light, because I think it would have come out really well. I could have done something with this. So it's really good to look back at these videos and see it from a more relaxed perspective. Obviously when you're there, there's a lot going on, but when you look back at these videos, well, when I look back at these videos, I can see, oh, I could have done something there, I could have done something there, and I maybe didn't take that opportunity. So it really gives me a different perspective. As you can see, it's blue skies and the sun is out, and we've got this beautiful wet surface now, so we've got a lot of reflective surface to work with. Ideal conditions for photography, really. So it looks like I'm heading back over to that same sort of staircase, and look, it's totally different. Before it was flat light, now it's nice and bright, so the pictures are going to come out totally different. So I get straight on here, and I'm trying to, yeah, I wanted a bit more height, so I go up onto these sort of crates, getting my frame, getting my settings, and now I'm fishing. I'm just waiting for someone. You can see this lady coming from the right up into the frame and the stairs, and it doesn't work well. I remember this because there's a big estate building. It's reflecting the estate building across the water there. So I just adjust my position to the left, and now there's no building in the way, and I capture this. We've got a bit of cloud, we've got this lady coming down, and I think that came out pretty well as well. So just taking a little stroll, seeing what I could find, and I'm really enjoying this tiny camera. It's literally half the size of my 5D, and I definitely need to change my camera for street photography. If you are a street photographer yourself, write me in the comments and let me know what camera you use and what lens that you use for street photography, because I definitely have to make a change after using this APS-C camera. And there's a photographer, he's taking a picture of a guy just standing against the wall, so I thought I'd capture the both of them. And then I love this line here that you can see on the left hand side of the frame, this light and shadow that's just cutting across this chap. So I get my frame, I get my settings, make some adjustments, and I capture this. I think this looks really well. I love the negative space involved and the light and the shadow. So after that, yeah, I take a walk to a different area, up these stairs to another main area of the Barbican. Again, if you have not been here, even if you're not a photographer, just walking around and taking in the architecture, this Brutalist architecture, it's one of my favorite places in London, and I often come back with my camera on a bright sunny day to capture my style of photography. Look at these tall estate buildings. Everything just looks amazing. Not sure why I had a little pit stop there. I think maybe I was checking my shoe or something. But look at the reflections there. I see this guy and he's looking up. Yeah, he's actually looking up at this huge estate building. And I think the frame works pretty well, so I capture it very quickly. Not my usual style, because I normally set up and wait for people to interact with the frame. But here I just see the guy, so I thought I'd capture. So the Barbican estate, it has tennis courts, it has basketball courts, I think it even has some football pitches, and some schools come there and they practice and play, and for the residents as well. And I always come across this basketball court and this hoop, and it always looks so lonely. I've never seen anyone dunking or playing on it. So I'm just getting this as a reference shot. It would be good to grab somebody down there playing football just between these two posts, using these two posts as negative space, but grabbing somebody right in the middle, just doing some action. That would be really cool. One day I'll pass, the lighting will be great, and somebody will be down there. Probably on a weekend it would probably be more suited. So again, yeah, just getting a reference shot. I often do that. I get my frame, I take a picture, I play with my settings, so then when I do come back for next time, I know exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not searching for that frame. I can just come back and say, hey, oh yeah, I remember this place. This is the frame that I wanted last time. There's somebody there, I can capture it. Again, just taking a walk through the estate. We're heading towards the London Museum here. See this beautiful light. And again, this is just a reference shot. I remember waiting around here for a while, but nobody walked past. It's a very quiet part of the estate. And it's also a weekday, so it's less busy than usual. On a Saturday or Sunday, if the weather's like this, there'll be a lot more people. So yeah, just getting my frame, adjusting my settings. And yeah, nobody came along, but it worked out really well. I do like the photo, I do like the light, I do like the shapes. So another time I'll come past and the lighting will be good and I'll know exactly what I'm looking for. So that's all for today's video. I hope you picked up some nice tips for your street photography and minimalist photography style. I have started doing workshops teaching this minimalist street photography style here in London, so if you're interested in those, sign up to the newsletter below. And I'll also be doing workshops in other major cities across Europe. Cities like Berlin, Barcelona, Paris, Lisbon. They're fantastic for street photography. If you're interested in joining these workshops, sign up to the newsletter below and I'll be emailing out to let you know when they're available. They'll also be available in the Facebook group, so if you haven't joined already, make sure you do so. Until the next time, get out there and take those photos.